Woo! Big Mac, Mac Jr., Grand Mac 2. That's 3 Mac sizes made just for you. So no matter where you might be at, there's a Big Mac for that.
It's Super Bowl time, Super Bowl advertising time. They pay big money for this sort of thing. If you miss the Super Bowl, you miss one of the greatest games ever of all time. Records fell all over the field. Our first overtime ever, biggest comeback ever. Tom Brady has now won more bowls than any other quarterback. As always, major part of the equation was the advertising, as hundreds of millions were spent getting messages out to one of the biggest audiences in sport. Not just Big Mac, but Audi as well.
My daughter. Do I tell her that her grandpa's worth more than her grandma? That her dad is worth more than her mom?
Yeah, slightly political this year. Febreze, we're in.
I love you, halftime bathroom break, but sometimes you stink. New Febreze with odor clear. The halftime bathroom break is coming. Is your bathroom ready, America?
David Warschawski runs his own ad agency, and he is with us. David, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, as a bunch of ads go, how did they stack up? Was it quality?
This year was not so great. This year we had a lot of middle of the road and probably more than we've had in past years on the lower end of the target range. So kind of a disappointing year. Game was great, ads not so much.
And what about the bang for buck aspect of it? I mean, tremendous money goes into this. Is it worth it?
That's a great question. If you think about this, advertisers are spending approximately $166 per second. That's for many small and mid-sized agencies or companies what they're spending for their entire year's marketing communications budget. So it's got to be the right type of brand in order for them to advertise. And growingly, it's becoming a question. You had brands like Doritos, like Visa, like Heinz, and Taco Bell sit out this year because I think they're beginning to question, is the ROI really there? And I think that's a trend that bears watching. The answer may be that either pricing comes down for the spots, or you're going to see more of the bigger advertisers leave Super Bowl advertising in the near future.
Were they overtly political?
They were. There was, as we would say, political encroachment this year. Too many ads tried, as so much has been tinged this year by politics. The ads were no different in this year's Super Bowl, and that's a shame because that's really a no-no. We finally have a chance to talk to 115 million U.S. viewers, and they're not going to DVR it or they're not going to fast forward through it. You don't want to, whether it's subtle or not so subtle, inject a political message because you never know how the target audience will receive that. Why take that risk? That was just a bad decision on the part of many brands.
What about the impact on the advertising? I mean, there seems so much pressure on these companies to be creative, but does creative actually sell your product?
That's also an outstanding point, is there's a big difference, and often the misunderstanding is people look at ads during the Super Bowl as great entertainment as opposed to were they a great commercial. And the difference between a great commercial and a great entertainment is great entertainment might make you laugh, might make the masses have a great time, be excited or energized or thrilled, but a great commercial actually wants to be very specific in who its target audience is and move them to either take an action or to change a perception. And to that end, we actually have our own proprietary way we rate the ads. It's called the Warschawski Best Model. And we're looking for ads. Are they, A, brand-centric? Do they clearly reinforce the brand and what makes the brand unique? Number two is, do they create an emotional connection, the E part? Does it make an emotional connection with a specific target audience? S, does it stand out from the competitors? Is it memorable? And T, is there a target achieved? Is there a clear target audience that the ad is speaking to? And does it achieve a business goal? Too many ads today are focused on creating great entertainment and not on being a great ad.
So from your point of view, who do you reckon stood out this year?
We would put the 5 winners this year as Michelob Ultra, Alfa Romeo, Bud Light, Mercedes-Benz, and Honda CR-V. Again, they weren't the best crop we've seen in recent years. We've had some really great ads over the last couple of years. Michelob's Ultra R-Bar was a very solid, good ad, but not as great as some of the most recent best ones we've had. We had way too many in the bottom 10. It was all actually hard for us this year to condense it to who were the 10 worst. And a lot of it had to do with politics, with poor execution. For example, 84 Lumber and the Journey, well done spot, beautiful, but it's the wrong place to bring a political message. when everybody's here to have a good time and to enjoy the game and the ads. And then when you're going to run a $10 million spot, you better make sure that if you send them to your website to see the end of the story, that the site doesn't crash. It did, and that doesn't make for good execution.
David, appreciate your insight very much. David Warschawski, who runs his own ad agency in the United States of America, for us this morning.